I do. Come on. Hello, hello, hello. Can you hear me? Can you see me? And all the usual stuff. Where's my chat gone? Max, Dave, Sean, how are we doing? How are you all doing this evening, today, whatever, depending where you are in the world, of course. Oh, here's trouble.
Yay.
Jason, how you doing?
The kitty's back.
Show the new cat.
Yay. So she's...
I've already seen him.
Yeah, but he's pretty doing very well with his eyes.
No, you take him in. Out. Get off me, cat. You take him in there. Look after him. Go on.
Okay.
Shut the door behind you.
His eyes being warmed up, so... Because... You know.
Shut the door.
Oh, they were on the floor.
Were you ringing me the other day? Yes, I was, Dave. I didn't get any calls back though. I'm not getting notifications on my phone for some reason. I'll give you a bell tomorrow sometime. It's 86. How you doing? Not bad. Just got the seat in my van with frame today. Oh, just got. Oh, very nice. Greetings from Norway. How you doing? 121. Hello, sir. Hope you are doing. Hope you're all well. Yes, hope you are too. Ray, how you doing? Oh, I'm on the wrong screen. Get the screen back. There we go. So, what has everybody been up to today? Can you shut the door, please? Look after the cat. And shut the door. No, go and look after the cat.
I need to tell the viewer something first.
I'm not on yet. Go and look after the cat. Look, come on. And shut the door.
Can I get something to eat?
In a minute. Go on. Shut the door. Lucky escape there. Nuffs, how you doing, mate?
You're live.
Just 1 second, everybody. Kids. Have I been relegated to the cupboard? No, I'm always here. Just in the corner of the kitchen. Steve, how you doing, mate? So what's everyone been up to today? What's everybody at? What is everybody at? Colour in a bottle. Don't know why. Because why not? Because why not? Bum, 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 bum. What's everyone been at today? Still just refresh my page. Might answer some comments live in the sense of some comments that have been on the video, if that makes sense. Obviously, I'll read your comments live as well. Working. What have you been working on, mate? Thomas, how you doing? Keys. How is the new shed? Yeah, it's coming on well. Video is being released very soon. Been watching Off-Road Recovery all day. Utah Epic. What's everyone been at? Anything exciting? Any news for me? Any gossip? What are you doing tomorrow or next week? I've got a busy few days coming up myself. Just with kind of moving and getting the rest of the stuff done. What sort of a delay have I got today? The delay can be frustrating sometimes. Try and close some of these other stuff up, see if that helps. We'll take it all off now. Good to hear you got a new place. Thank you, Thomas. Johnny, how you doing? Alright, did the body work on the girly Jeep today? Did you just pull it out with the stud gun and then just basically fill over it and paint it? I take it that's what you did with the sills. Or the rockers, as you say now. Day off, watched F1. Yeah, I watched the F1 too. Got a mini classic that my friend has just fitted a 1 litre EcoBoost engine into mine for a respray and some body work. Will keep me busy for all week, I think. Nice. I've got to fix an invisible coolant leak tomorrow. Nice. Don't you just love them coolant leaks? Nice how I drive from Whitfield to Inverness. Sure did. I thought that's what you would do. Didn't seem too bad either. The red door or orange door, whatever it was, certainly sticks out. You should maybe change every panel a different colour. Really make it a girly Jeep. Live again, question mark. Are you confused, Dan? I know when you get in your age you might be slightly confused. You don't know if it's live or not. It's okay. It's okay. Technology moves on. I know, you know, you're a bit slow, but eventually you might catch up. Has everyone got lots of work on next week? I've got no work particularly as regards paid work, but just a lot of work, if that makes sense. A lot of stuff to do. The orange door is a nice picture, mate. How come you didn't get 2 white doors? Obviously they're off 2 different Jeeps, that kind of goes without saying. Shame they didn't have a rear door, then it's basically just the inner you have to spray. Is it just a flat white or is it metallic? Preparing for next week, training trip Newcastle and Scotland. Some filming with Sandy, nice. I should really take my hand out from my mouth, muffling. I need one of them hubby tools injector pullers. Yeah, they are handy. Jordan, just go onto their Facebook and send them a message. Tell them I sent you, and they will look after you. I think they are doing now where you can buy them direct. If not, they will tell you where your nearest dealer is. But I'm sure, I could be wrong, but I'm sure you can buy direct. If you mention my name, they'll look after you. Hi, day off, chilling out today. Yeah, me too. Not that I could have done. I should have done a bit of work today, but other things happened, and yeah, just didn't get around to it. Testing my injector tomorrow when my home comes. Nice. Yep, I'm retired and have lots of work. Nice. Yeah, rear door was already sold. They hooked me up. Haven't looked up the paint yet, but it looks like a solid creamish colour. That's not too bad. Easy to blend in then. Easier to match. Did the white door match perfectly? It always looks like it does on camera, but you can never be sure until you see it in real life. Cheers, I will say you sent me. Yeah, do mate. They should give you a code to use, like use code sorted for 10% off. Is that Hobby Tools, is it? Well, email them or go onto Facebook and tell them, and we'll see what we can do. I'll have a word as well. But if enough people maybe say it to them, we might be able to do something. Can't promise anything, but you never know. We might. Don't know. Ask me. I'm just drawing on a bottle. Don't ask me why. But yeah, you never know. You never know. Kind of. Why am I drawing on a bottle? I don't bloody know. Let's see if we get a funny, well, not so much funny, but weird or kind of comment. We'll answer it. I mean, on my normal videos. Oh, missed some here. Have a heater core replacement in a Mazda 6.5 tomorrow. How fast can you get to California? Is that a dash out job, is it? Why have I just other comments coming in when I missed it? How did I miss that? Busy S&D training, 2 course and DPF doctor. Looking forward to it. Nice. Nice. Where is my stream gone? I should really stop. I'm doing like 3 things at once and I keep losing my camera. Have you been able to get the rally car out yet? No, there's nothing really been going on. Everything was cancelled. We was hoping to do a few events with the drift car. We found a track that does kind of events, but the thing is, everything's just been closed down. So no. Hi Leon, what do you use to clean the oil feed pipe return line? Hi Leon, what do you use to clean turbo oil feed pipelines? Brake cleaners is as good as anything really. I've never really had an issue with them because normally when a turbo goes, it doesn't normally, you know, it's gone because the seals leak rather than lack of oil. The ones that I've had, so never really had too many issues with them. Squirt brake clean, airline always work for me. I know people say you should replace them, but once they are not leaking and they are free, what's the point of replacing them? I know some people say that the turbos, you know, you don't get a guarantee unless you replace them and blah 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 blah, but you know, some of them are ridiculously expensive and yeah, only if they're leaking. Yes sir, you man got the job sorted. No, I'll leave that one to you. I'll leave that one to you. Hey mate, gotta ask, Bodgit and Leggit sounds like you are a cowboy mechanic, but from what I can see of your videos, you really know your stuff, and thank you for the information. Why the name? The name was just a bit of fun, really. I wanted to call my business Bodgit and Leggit Garage, just as a bit of fun. And you know, to get a name, like a good name, and but still have like a bad name, it's just a bit of fun. And if you know some people don't get it, or some people think it's whatever, then it's kind of on them. So yeah, just a bit of fun. That's all it was. Just a bit of fun. Yeah, he got the rally car, but he needs someone to drive it. Unfortunately, I'm too busy. I think you'll find the last time you lost, Dan. So yeah, lost by quite a margin, I believe, on a technical track. Wait till we get it out when you're back. We'll see. We will see. Thomas, can you please me with this? I got service on my. Oh, you got a Renault, and the diesel filter light is on. How do I turn it off? Thanks. What do you mean the diesel filter light is on? In the sense of the water light, is it? To say that there's water in the diesel filter? Or do you mean it could even be the DPF light, but you might think it's the oil, the fuel filter. Fuel filter. Fucking words out. Thinking of blanking EGR, but undecided. Gotta take off manifold to clean out the crack. I would say just like it depends what engine you've got. To what you can really do, because on the modern stuff you can't. Well, you can, but you can't. You have to reprogram it all, and it's a lot of hassle. It depends on the engine and the car you've got. Oh God!
See,
Why are you doing that?
I made bubbles.
I can see that. You're getting them everywhere.
Show the viewers. I'm gonna show the viewers.
What do you want to show them? All the bubbles you're making.
Yeah.
I don't know a single turbo company that will honour a warranty claim even if the turbine wasn't changed. There is companies out there that do, and at the end of the day, how do they know that you haven't changed
Look, viewers.
the
Bubbles.
right? Go on.
Just to let you know, viewers, this is a.
You need to be looking after the little kitten.
Yeah, Milo tried to sit on it.
Well, you need to move him so Milo doesn't sit on him. What was it? They won't know that you've changed it or you haven't. Yeah, I don't really go on that. Changing the pipe, that's the smallest pipe going. I've never known a turbo feed pipe to be an issue. I've known other things to be an issue, you know, blocked pickup in the engine and stuff like that, and blocked gauze. I've never ever known a turbo feed pipe to be the issue. It's always another issue. It's always it's just always another issue in my experience. Unless, don't get me wrong, unless like the pipe snapped and then the oil was squirting everywhere, not going into turbo. But what I mean is, if the oil pipe is in perfect condition, I've never known that to be a problem. Never. Any advice on a Vauxhall Class D 1.3 DCI injectors 1 and 3 and permanent? You just need to check them, mate. You just need to check them properly. I mean, it could be injectors, it could be ECU, it could be wiring, it could be the plug, it could be a few things. You have to go through every step and just check them properly. Just 1 second. Fortunately, I get questions kind of like that a lot, and a lot of people just expect me to say, "Oh yeah, you know, jump up and down 3 times, lick the window, and it'll solve the problem." You just have to get it checked properly. I mean, it's most probably likely to be your injectors, but you can never go off that. It could be your pump. It could be, you know, a cracked line. There's just so many things it could be. Um, there's just so many things it could be. Warranty on any brand new part. Yeah, warranty is a nightmare because I know turbos that have failed, and it's been a dodgy turbo, and the company will just say, "Well, you fitted it wrong," because they just want to get out of it. I've never had to take one back, luckily enough, but I know people that have, and they've never. I don't know anyone that's ever got here anyway. That's ever got a warranty on them because they'll always just say, "Well, you didn't do it properly." And at the end of the day, you can't really not fit a turbo properly. You know, it bolts in only in one place. There's a few pipes on it, water or oil cooled or both, depending on the car. You can't really go wrong. Um, but yeah, I know a place that had a dodgy turbo gun, and the guy said that they fitted it wrong, so they stripped it completely down, and there was oil completely inside where all the oil should be. It was just a dodgy turbo, but they didn't get a warranty on that, so. Did you clean the pickup out when you changed the turbo? All the turbos have failed are due to bad seals. Well, I clean everything when I do it. That's why I'm saying I've never known a turbo to fail because of the feed pipe. It's always other things. It's always because they haven't put the right oil in, or they haven't changed the oil regularly, or the pickup is blocked, or the gauze is blocked inside. You know, some of the cars have a gauze inside the filter, which is terrible. And I took it out on one video. I got so much grief for taking it out. But yet you read the warranty card from the turbo companies, they all say take that gauze out. So, you know, people are saying, "Oh, you're not doing it properly, you won't get the warranty." The turbo companies say, take the fucking gauze out. That's what I gotta love about YouTube fucking wankers. You know, thinking they know what they're talking about, giving me grief for taking something out, and I'm not going to get warranty on it, but yet the turbo companies say take it out. It's always other issues in my experience. Like I said, unless the turbo pipe completely got cut off or bent or something's happened, then fair enough. But once that turbo feed pipe isn't leaking and it is good, I've never known that to be an issue. Never known that to cause the issue of the turbo. It's normally, in my experience, there's two things that normally do it, but they're both kind of the same. Not servicing it regularly, and the oil just can't, you know, just clumps up and doesn't get around the engine properly, or using the wrong oil. Is normally, in my experience, where turbos have gone. One two five SM, how you doing, mate? Do you have a name for the kitten? We have a few names, and she keeps changing them every day, so it's hard to keep up. Love watching your videos, Freelander videos, help me out quite a lot. Many thanks, quite a few times. Anytime, mate. That's what it's all about. It says the diesel filter change, it was done. It says the diesel filter change, it was done. Oh, so it actually says change the diesel filter. Well, you just need to go back to the people you got it done, and they should reset it for you. You shouldn't have to do it yourself. If you paid someone to do it, they should reset that yourself. It could just be a simple press a few buttons on the dash to redo it. I can't think off the top of my head, or it might be a scan tool to reset it. But if you paid someone to do it, then you should just be able to go back and say, look, fucking do it, aight? You didn't do it properly, or you didn't reset the computer. Not so much that they didn't do it properly. I'm still hoping to see more of the Transit Beast on your channel. I'm trying, Max, but I'm looking like I might have to sell that now. I really don't want to, but I need money, so I might have to sell it. I really, really don't want to, but yeah, it might have to come to that. I have some issues on my Focus 1.6 and Blingo. Gauze was blocked, went over. Yeah, the gauze, it's just... I did a video showing people how to make your turbo last for longer, and I also did a video on replacing the turbo, and I took the gauze out of them engines both times, and lots of people giving me grief. Oh, that's in there by the manufacturer, why did you take it off? There's no other engines that has them on, only them particular ones. So if they've lasted for all these years without having them on, and then someone decided to put them on, then, you know, 99.9% of the engines out there don't have them. So yeah. Best engine flush. The best engine flush is in the bin. End of. Don't use it. Don't use it. The only time I would suggest to use engine flush is if you've got a brand new car, brand new engine, you know the history 100%, and you want to, you know, you change the oil every 5,000 miles and you want to put some sort of special flush in there to keep everything, fair enough. But if you change oil every 5,000 miles, you shouldn't need to flush it anyway. So the best engine flush is in the bin. End of story. Thanks for the turbo advice. Love the information. Anytime, mate. Anytime. London. I have been using my local garage, local car wash, which uses hot water, and now my clear coat is peeling and it looks horrible. I am not far from you. Do you have any good car paint sprayers? How do you mean you're not far from me, mate? If you're in London, why ain't in Lincoln in UK anymore? On my Land Rover, such as UK, £1,000 to tax most older vehicles, 2000-ish model. Range Rover, is it £1,000 to tax in the UK? Seems a bit expensive for the UK. Best engine flush is a bit of diesel down there, dipstick. I wouldn't. I just wouldn't. I wouldn't put diesel into your oil. Just don't do it, mate. Glad you still have the Mark 1. Yeah, still have the Mark 1. Still have all my cars. Just might be selling the van. Might be. But I don't know yet. You definitely can fit one wrong, i.e. intercooler full of oil. You definitely can fit the... What do you mean, mate? Have I missed another comment? Great, thanks. Hope you get everything sorted. I will have to look tomorrow. Thanks for your advice. Agree. Best engine flush is new oil and filter every 5,000 miles, 100%. And the correct oil. That's the thing. The correct oil. Now, there's a big thing about oils and people saying you know oils are oils and they don't make a difference. Well, for the newer cars, they just do. But what doesn't really make a difference, now you have to be, I have to be careful when I say this because people are going to take me wrong. If your car says to use 5W30, yes, you use what the manufacturer tells you to use on that particular engine. 100% you use what they say. But when your engine gets older, like over 100,000 miles, you can go for slightly thicker oil, because even if you change your engine oil every 5,000 miles, once it gets to 100,000 miles, there is going to be wear in that engine. There just is. End of story. Don't care what anyone says. They just will be. So you can get away with using slightly thicker oil, but there's a but. You still have to use the right spec of oil for that engine. I've said this in a few of my videos and some people just, you know, lose it altogether, but it is true. Your engine will wear over time. It just will, because it's moving. No matter how well you lubricate it, it just will wear. And if you use thinner oil, the oil then can't protect it as well because the tolerances are getting bigger. So the slightly thicker oil, now again it depends on your car, but it's the spec of oil and the bits that are in it is important. is important. I'm in Mayo, Foxford. It's a few miles away from me, but not that far. Depends how bad it is, mate, and what car it is. I do a lot of body work, but if it's kind of an older car and it needs a lot, it might not be worth doing. Which is better? Opinion for my Mark 2 Escort, currently running 16 for 2 litre or a well, I mean, personally, a Pinto, you can just do so much with them. Technically, a Cosworth engine is a Pinto block with a Cosy head. You know, you can do an awful lot to them. The Zetec engines are being very popular at the minute. You know, there's an awful lot of companies taking them up at the minute, and they're doing some really cool upgrades. And they're more of a modern engine, so it's easier to get parts. It all depends really on exactly what you want to do. The Zetec engines, they are good. There's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of companies that are making modifications and doing a lot of bits for them Pintos. But me personally, if you're going to put an engine in a Mark II, personally, Cosworth all the way. But that's just me. I mean, I love Cosworth engines. I'm putting them in everything. Even the Cosworth Red Top that I've got in my Mark 1, that's a fantastic engine. You know, the what is it, the E20 XE or the C20 XE, that's a fantastic engine. Cosworth head, most people don't know that they're Cosworth heads, and again, bulletproof. And you can do a lot to them. Mine's kicking out some nice horsepower, and it's only ticking over really. You know, it all depends on your budget as well, I suppose, because you know, Cosworth engines now aren't cheap. Zetec engines are very, very cheap. Even Pinto engines aren't cheap. So it's hard to say, mate. It depends on your budget and it depends on what you like. Me personally, Cosworth engine all the way. And that's the thing with cars. Cars are very, you know, they're each to their own. Like some people do a car up and only they like it, no one else likes it, because it's very personal, isn't it? So it really does depend on, you know, yourself really. But all them engines you mentioned are good. Gear crane's got an exhaust leak behind the engine bay. I can't pinpoint where it is. It just could be a cracked manifold. One of the easiest ways to kind of find out where it is, if you need to get someone in the car, get a piece of paper, like toilet paper, which is really, really light and kind of flimsy, and get someone to kind of rev it to say 2,500 revs, and put the toilet paper kind of somewhere close to the exhaust, and you can see if it's flapping, you'll know there's an exhaust leak there, because the slightest bit of leak will make the toilet paper flap like crazy. But you have to be careful because you can burn yourself. But that's kind of an easy-ish way, if you can get to it, to where to find it. Gotta go, Leon. Catch you soon. Have a great week. See you later, mate. The car I got was serviced every 6 weeks, regardless of the miles. Every 6 weeks? Someone must have been doing some serious mileage then. Did I miss another comment? Because I don't know what that's referring to. So yeah, cars are very, you know, they're very personalised to people, and it's difficult to know. What engine was you thinking of, Neil? Anyway, what? And I suppose it's like everything. What sort of horsepower and stuff are you hoping to get out of it, and what are you hoping to do with it? Because Pinto engines also, they can be kind of a bit tappety. That's just the way they are. And then a Zetec engine will be a lot quieter. So yeah. Have you ever done a split manifold on a Honda 2.2? I have. A subframe drop on the Civic. I managed to get it from the top. It was a nightmare, but I managed to get it out on the 2.2 Honda. Well, the Honda Accord, I've done one on. I've never seen a 2.2 CDTI on a Civic. I've only seen them on an Accord. I've got a 2.5 race engine in my Transit. Nice. What horsepower is it, Mark? Thinking of a Pinto for an easy install. Really, mate, on the... Yeah, the thing is though, there is companies out there now that are, you can, I know because I've seen them, you can buy kits, you know, to mount the Zetec engine in, just bolt on. You know, there's some very, very good kits out there that you can just bolt on. Buy the different engine mounts. You can do it a couple of ways. You can, if you get the, is it the Countryman subframe, that bolts onto the engine, but then you can do the solid mount onto the actual rails of the car, like I've done on my car. And the Twin 40s, they are good and they sound nice, but again, you know, you have issues with the setup on them. It's just difficult. It depends what you're used to and what you're into, because it's just difficult. You need to go in there and keep looking after the kitten. If I don't keep her out, we'll never get rid of her, and I won't be able to get a word in. So yeah, it just depends what you're really used to, because you know, if you're not used to setting up Webers and getting them ported right, getting them balanced and stuff, you can have nothing but hassle from them. When they are good, they're great. You also have to be careful of with Webers, depending if you get heat soak in your engine. There's a little pipe between the two Webers. It's only about that long. And if you've got major heat soak in your engine bay, when you turn the engine off when it's hot, it can evaporate the fuel between the two Webers, so it makes starting it quite a bit of a nightmare. So bear that in mind too. Do you have to use a scan tool to bleed the brakes on a Peugeot? What year Peugeot? Not so much to bleed the brakes, but to bleed the ABS pump, more so than the actual brakes. Ex-police car. I'm not sure. Is that the Transit engine? Is it? The Honda Accord door from the top. Impossible to get on a Civic as the engine. Like I said, I've never seen one of them engines in a Civic. We certainly don't get them around here, and there's very, very few Honda Accords because the tax in Ireland is just too expensive. Over £1,000 to tax that car in Ireland, and people just don't want to pay it. So, and I didn't even know they put them in the Civic. Didn't even know they did it from the factory. If you blow air up through the exhaust, you can pinpoint the leak. Yeah, you can do that as well, but depending on what, you know, tools you have. Ex-police car had a hard life. Many are crashed and HPI cleared as they have their own insurance companies, especially the road. To do 2015 Peugeot 208, just want to change the brake fluid. Well, if you're just changing the brake fluid, and as long as you whatever you're using to bleed it, as long as you keep the fluid pouring into it, like, how can I explain this? It depends what you're using. If you're just using a pressure pot, as long as you keep the fluid in that pressure pot, you're not pushing air directly into the system, you're going to be able to change it fine. It's only when, you know, like your brake line breaks or something like that, or you cause air to come into the pump, you're going to have an issue. As long as you keep the fluid, you know, constantly going into it with no air going into it, you're going to be fine. I've done loads. Now I do have a slightly different brake bleeding than what you most probably have, but it's it's just basically it's quite a big unit, and it pumps it in. It makes your life a lot easier. You can do it on yourself, but you can buy kind of really cheaper ones out there that do the same thing. Had it for a long time. Can't remember the spec. 160, 180. Nice. My van's going to be 400 horsepower with anti-lag. Uh, so yeah, it's going to be quick. It's going to be quick. Geez, 40 minutes already. Doesn't time fly? Hank, how you doing? Oh, I've lost the bloody chat again. Hi Leon, mate. How are you doing? We'll just be on here for a quick hour. I was just kind of chewing the fat, as they say. Boom, Andy. How you doing? Kind of getting ready for tomorrow. Like I said, gonna be a busy day. Where is everybody from? I haven't asked the question yet. Where is everybody watching from? Always nice to know. Where are you in the world? I obviously know where some of you are, but I don't know where all of you are. And now I'm just colouring in a piece of foil, because again, don't know why. Dashcam dude, hey, how are you, mate? Oh, let's just see if we've got any things on the other videos. Reload, and do we? And the answer is, come on, load. Nope. The Netherlands. Oh, I've missed loads. Cork, Wales. Carrickfergus. Belfast. What is the best OBD scan tool for around 100 that you can? There's no such thing, mate. You're not going to get a scan tool that's going to do all makes for 100 quid. You're not going to get a scan tool for 10 grand that does all makes for 10 grand. It just doesn't happen. It's not going to happen, and it just doesn't happen, even with the most expensive ones. So, and I get this question a lot, and the thing is, I haven't really used a lot of, £100 scan tools, so I can't really say. I've used the Delphi one, you can get on eBay. They're okay for, I think they're around 40, 50, 60 quid, but they don't do everything. But for the price of them, they're kind of okay. There is no scan tool out there for 10 grand that does every vehicle. There just isn't. So there's definitely not one for 100 quid. Have you ever been to South Wales? No, I haven't, mate. No, I haven't. But you know what they say about Wales. But not going to say it because it's too easy. Carlo. Leicestershire. Dublin. Oh god, why do I keep pressing the... Oh, I've lost everything. Let's get it back. Live stream. And I've lost the chat again. Boom. What fuse should I upgrade when fitting a tow bar? It all depends. It just depends. It depends on what you're using. Like if you're using cars with or trailers and stuff with LED lights, you don't really have to do anything. The old-fashioned ones can sometimes on some of the cars. You might have a 10 amp fuse and you might want to go slightly up. You have to be careful and you have to really know the car. So I don't want to say that, because if I say that and people start putting bigger fuses in the cars, which is very bad in certain circumstances, they can run into trouble. What I would suggest you do is just leave the fuse in that you have got, wire up your tow bar, and if you have any issues, then address it if you have issues. County Mayo. Next door, Foxford Mayo. You're not really next door, mate. You're still a couple of hours away from me. Well, over an hour and a half anyway. But kind of close-ish. Forgot to say my Transit is a Mark II motorhome. Is that the... Was that you who was asking me about the engine? Because if that's the case and you want something just kind of reliable, I would just go for the Zetec engine. Because it's plug and play with the kits you can get now, and it's easy to get parts. And if you're not using it for any kind of performance, just go for that. It's so much easier. Have you ever been to the Netherlands at all? Yes, I have. Last year I went and I spent some time with Dan, and I'll never go back to him. He's still here, is he? Hopefully he is. He's just too slow. I mean, yeah, he'll know. Hopefully he's still here. But no, I have been, and I will be coming back most probably next year. Leicester lockdown, we all got cough. Sheep. Yeah, it's just too easy. Would you have any ideas for an upgrade to a Freelander 1 Series engine? How do you mean upgrade? Is it petrol or diesel for a start? And what do you mean by upgrade? Like, you want it to go faster, is it? Dan is fantastic. You said it, not me. Dan is not a friend of mine. He's more of, how I'd say, an acquaintance. I wouldn't class him as a friend. I can't class him as a friend. I just can't. I can't say that word with Dan. He's someone I know. Oh, I hope he's still here. Are you still here, Dan? Dan, in all fairness, he's one of the most genuine guys you will ever meet. I can say that because he's not here. If he was here, I'd be giving him more abuse. I've got a rattle-slack knocking at the rear of my Golf, going over bumps. I would say your drop links. I'd say that's your problem there. On my lockdown, I got a scan tool. Launch, auto, something half decent, willing to pay more than 100. Well, if you can kind of go up to around 500 odd, the one that is really good is the Diag gun. For the price of it, it's one of the best for the price of it. Autel do one, but it's slightly more expensive for the one with the bidirectional controls. Leon, I'm not a cheese hacker. I never said you was. I never said you was. Working from Croydon tomorrow. Do you want one brought back for you, Dan? What have I missed? 2 litre diesel. And do you mean you want it to go faster? Because there's not really a lot you can do without spending a lot of money. There really isn't. I mean, it's a BMW engine. It's not a great engine. There's so many problems. Unless you start chipping it, which can cause other issues, that's going to be your cheapest way, chipping it. But to get a decent chip, you're talking hundreds. Not just these plug-and-play ones. Get your ECU actually properly remapped, but it's not cheap. Doing better now. Just got home from finishing an 8-cylinder fuel injectors GMC 6.6. Time to catch 6.6 V8. Nice. Sorry, back on the 208 brakes. Is it the same as old school start and away from the... Yeah, always start. Well, it's not always start. I mean, it's just easier to start from the furthest away from the cylinder, but it's not. You don't have to, because most cars, especially newer cars, they have they have three separate lines, and maybe the rear one split off. So when you're actually doing if you'll do the front brake, it's a separate line to the rear brake. So to be honest, it really doesn't make a difference. I know people say that, but it doesn't really make a difference. It just doesn't. But it's just kind of, I'm used to always going from the furthest one away. Don't know why, I kept doing it, but it really doesn't make a difference, mate. It really doesn't. Karen, how are you? I'm good, mate. How are you? Could you fix that Red Bull on the grid with 10 minutes? Yeah, easy. So it was only a steering arm, wasn't it? No, it was a track rod, was it? Track rod in a few minutes, easy. No, I must admit though, they did awesomely well to change that. There 25 seconds left before they put the wheels on. Series L Freelander is not a BMW. It's the early 99 before. Oh, okay. Well, still, there's not a lot you can do with them unless you start spending serious money. I thought you said it was a Freelander 1. Maybe that was the typo. Rather than Freelander 1, it's supposed to be L. But there's still not a lot you can do unless you start pumping serious money into them. But you'd be stupid to do that. There's not a lot you can do. Not unless you want to start spending a lot of money, chipping it, exhaust, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's a diesel. You're not going to get too much performance. If you're going to start spending that money, you're best off just putting a completely different engine in. But that has its own issues as well. Good evening, Leon. You know me name defuck changed it back to original. Did they tell you to change it back, or were you getting a bit of grief? We've got a few minutes left before I will leave it. We'll do an hour, so 7 minutes left. And then what's the time? It's only 10, is it? Oh no, it's only 11. Why was I thinking it was 10? I must have started at 10. Why was I thinking I started at 9? Not even looking at the clock properly. My fault. So yeah, there's not really a lot you can do, really. But like I said, it depends what you what is it that you exactly want to get from the engine. And what is it? More power? What is it that you actually want to try and achieve? I see you struggling with pronunciation. What do you mean, mate? I have found new premises, yeah. I have. You mean pronouncing your name? Is it? I'm doing good, mate. How are you? How are you doing? Oh, I'm knocking the table. This delay is really annoying because I'm looking at the screen and my head is down, but I'm now looking up. I need to get this delay a lot less. Because it's bloody annoying. Yeah. I don't know what you mean, mate. Struggling with the old name, is it? Great news. Yes, it is. Brilliant news. But like I was saying before on my last stream, most probably going to be doing a bit of going mobile, and doing work in the shed, kind of, doing a few days mobile, a few days in the shed, something along them lines. Yes, mate. Did you get the Scottish? Have I missed another comment from you, Thomas? I'm going back. We have never been busier. Best 2 months for MOT. It's ridiculous here. I tried to book a test in, and I cannot book a test in for 2.5 months. I'm not getting any work for tests yet. I've still got absolutely nothing. It's scary, in fact. No phone calls, no nothing for a couple of months now. Literally nothing. Have you seen any issues with Skoda dual mass flywheels? Just had mine done. 1500. Skoda wanted 2.5 grand. I've seen issues with all dual mass flywheels, mate. With all dual mass flywheels. Doesn't matter what make they are. Doesn't matter. You know, it's just I've seen issues with all of them, and they are expensive. You know, they just are. No, he hasn't got his hair cut actually. Not yet. What is the best and worst car you've ever owned? That's tricky. That's tricky because I've owned. I can't pick between the cars that I've got now. It'd be impossible to pick between the Kazi and the Mark 1 because they both have their own advantages and disadvantages. But I can tell you the funnest car I've ever owned, because it's just so unexpected, is my Cosworth van, because people just do not expect that thing to be anywhere near as fast as it is. It is an absolute animal. You know, like I said, it's going to be even faster now. It's going to be over 400 horsepower with anti-lag, and people just don't expect it. And then when I say that to people, they think, oh, but a Transit's really heavy. A Transit isn't heavy. It's big, but it's not heavy. It's just panels. So that's the funnest car I've ever owned. The worst car I've ever owned, that's going to be difficult because I've owned a lot of bangers. It's difficult. What's the worst car I've ever owned? That's difficult. Worst car I've ever owned. Let me think. Give me a minute and I'll think. Hi, enjoy your videos, uploads. Hope you mobile works out. Thanks a lot, mate. I hope it does too. Can you do No, we can't do MOTs. It's an NCT over here. It's an NCT for the cars and a DOE for the van. You can't do NCTs. It's just like a separate company / kind of government owned business. They can only test them. They can't repair them. And as for the DOE, yes, technically you can do a DOE if you've got the right equipment and the right kind of garage and stuff, but you can't do MOT/NCTs. Worst car I've ever owned. I'm trying to think. I think I had. Oh, I can't think because I've had so many bad cars that I've just been banging around in. Because I kind of, even now, I just have a car that I go around and I don't care about, and then I have kind of a good car if I'm going anywhere. I've never owned a Renault. Never owned a Renault. I think it must have been a Nissan. I'd say it was a Nissan, and it was a Nissan Primera. I'd say was one of the worst cars I've ever owned, just because it was old and battered. But then again, I didn't care about it, so it's difficult. I'll wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning now, and one would just come to me that was really, really bad. But yeah, I think it would be a Nissan. What do you use daily driver now? At the minute, I'm using as a daily driver a Chevy, but not a really cool Chevy by any stretch of imagination. It's not cool at all. It's not like a V8 Chevy or anything like that. Yeah, it's a Chevy AVO. Yeah, pretty terrible actually. But then if I'm going anywhere, I'll be using my ST Mondeo. But when I get my van, if I get my van going again, I'll be using my van most days. My Cosy van. Depends. I don't know what I'm going to do with that yet. I'm still undecided. Because I know if I sell it, I will seriously regret it. Because it is, without doubt, the funniest vehicle I have ever owned. Because the amount of people you can piss off in that van is phenomenal. You drive down the road in the Cosy, people know it's fast. You just get dickheads in 1.4 Civics trying to race you because they're just absolute fucking morons. But when you're in the van, you get the dickheads with the Audis and the BMWs who just come up your arse because they think you're driving this piece of shit of a van, and they just get a rude awakening when you put your foot down, and they cannot come close to it. And that's the best thing in the world. You can piss off so many people in Audis and BMWs. It's just the best fun ever. Honestly, if you ever get a chance to have like a sleeper like that, some sort of old van that no one really, looks at twice, and you get a muppet, I'm talking even a fast BMW, I'm talking M3s, M5s, it doesn't matter. Even fast Audis, you can just, yeah, annihilate them, and it's the funniest thing ever. The funniest thing ever when you see people's faces. I remember coming out of a petrol station once, and there was STI Impreza. Full on 2-litre turbo, the gold wheels, the blue, all the stickers up the side of it. His bird, blonde hair, she's a hairdresser, just full on, absolutely stereotypical Subaru driver. And I've never seen someone try to catch a gear in my life. I overtook him. He nearly ripped off the gear stick to try and drop it down a gear, and he was just nowhere. It was the funniest thing ever. Just brilliant. Just absolutely brilliant. I see it's now past the hour, so I'm going to go. I'll just quickly see these. Good trusty B5 Passat for me for years. Don't mind getting it dirty. Yeah, exactly. Having an old bang of a car, it's great. I own a Freelander, and I must say that your videos help me a lot, no end. No problem, Jeff. I'm glad they did. What mark is your Transit? It's a Mark III. 1990, just before the smiley face Transits. This is one that had the full grille across, but it has been converted to a smiley face, but technically it does have the grille going all the way across. So yes, that's it everybody. I'm going to call it a night, and hope you enjoyed it. More videos to come as always, and thanks a lot for your comments, and we'll catch you for the next one. Sorted.